Who can replace Antonio Valencia at Manchester United? Hello everyone, welcome to the What If League. Today's episode is about an experiment. What if Manchester United signed Álvaro Odriozola from Real Sociedad? Álvaro Odriozola is a young right fullback. He's a Spanish player who plays at Real Sociedad, as I already mentioned, and for this episode I have transferred him to Old Trafford for the sum of £36 million. This is a sum that was frequently mentioned in the media, so I decided to use that particular value and then see what happens in his new team. Because the transfer takes place in the middle of February, he would not be eligible to be registered to play in the Premier League or in the Champions League, and he would only be available in the cup competitions. This might be a downside, but there is also a positive from that, because probably he's going to be healthy when the time comes for the next season to start. He's not going to suffer any injuries. Of course, this is just speculation. And now I'm going to fast forward until the end of this season so that we can see how did he perform in the few games that he would have played. Here we are, the 2nd of June 2018, and the season have ended. Manchester City are crowned champions with 92 points, which is 11 more than second place Liverpool, which means that Manchester United have surrendered the second place and find themselves now in third position with the same points as Chelsea, 78 points for both teams, which is quite unfortunate for them, I would say. Now let's have a quick look at Manchester United's team and how are they performing. As you can see, captain Michael Carrick, they don't have a vice captain selected, and Alexis Sanchez is their key player. If we go to the tactics screen, we can see what is their starting 11, and Odriozola is in the substitutes, which is not really surprising. Let's have a quick look at him. And how many games did he play? In total, he played only 3 games in the FA Cup, one of which he came on as a substitute, so not really impressive, but that's also not surprising considering the circumstances. Now, in order to see his real impact, I'm going to fast forward 3 years into the future, and then we're going to go back and see how did he perform. Here we are, 2nd of June 2021, and first of all, let's see how did the Premier League develop in those 3 seasons. First, we start with the season that we already saw, 2017-18, when Manchester City were champions. Then, in the next year, Manchester City managed to defend their title, 86 points, which is 1 more than Manchester United. It was a much closer battle this time. Arsenal and Tottenham completed the top 4. Then, in the season after that, the Red Devils managed to claim the English Premier League title with 89 points, which was 11 points more than second place Arsenal, while Chelsea and Manchester City completed the top 4. And then in the final season, Manchester City reclaimed the title with 85 points, 3 more than Manchester United in second place. Tottenham and Liverpool were on the same point, 78, and completed the top 4. Going now into the Manchester United squad, we can see that Alexis Sanchez is the new captain, while Victor Lindelof has been selected as the vice captain. David De Gea is now their key player. If we look at the tactics screen, we can see that Lindelof is the right fullback, which means that Odriozola did not manage to put himself in the starting squad again. We see also some other new names like Sergei Milinkovic-Savic in midfield and Julian Brandt as a right winger. Also, Benjamin Henrichs is the left fullback. Alessio Romagnoli plays in the center of the defense. But anyway, now let's have a quick look what happens with Odriozola. Álvaro Odriozola is now a player of Arsenal, so he has been sold. Let's see what happened indeed. He played for Manchester United for only 1 season, and in that season he was not really impressive. Average rating of 6.89, 10 league games, 4 of which as a substitute. He managed to record 3 assists, 2 yellow cards and 1 red card, so really not a good performance here. He played 7 cup games with a bit better average rating and only 1 game in the Champions League. Then he was sold for £10.75 million to Napoli, where he had a bit of a better performance, and the following year he was sold back to England to Arsenal for £20 million. Not very good for Álvaro Odriozola, I must say, and I'm very surprised that Manchester United did not make good use of that player. He has very good stats and he's young, so I would have expected better performance from him. Now let's have a quick look at the transfers that were made by United in these 3.5 seasons. starting with Álvaro Odriozola, of course. Then in the next year, Eduardo Salvio was brought from Benfica, as well as Gael Clichy. Gael Clichy was brought, the ex-Arsenal player. Gary Medel, also from Beşiktaş, so 2 players from Turkey were brought in. In the outgoing section, Matteo Darmian was sold to Monaco, Marcos Rojo to Beşiktaş, Daley Blind to Lyon. Who else do we have here? James Wilson was sold to West Bromwich Albion. Not really surprising, as well as Cameron Borthwick-Jackson has been sold to Sunderland. Year after that, Sergej Milinkovic-Savic was brought from Lazio, Juan Fran from Atletico Madrid on a free transfer, Domenico Berardi from Sassuolo, Julian Brandt, Domenico Criscito, Talisca, Mitchell van Bergen. I'm not familiar with that player. Mitchell van Bergen, a right winger. He's currently on loan at Bologna, so he's a young player, a young Dutch player. In the outgoing section, Sergio Romero was sold, Álvaro Odriozola, as we already mentioned, Antonio Valencia was sold to Shakhtar Donetsk, Kieran O'Hara was sold to Bury, the young academy graduate, and Phil Jones was sold to Porto. So Phil Jones decided to continue his career in Portugal. Interesting. In the last season, Gelson Martins was brought from Arsenal for £52 million. Interesting transfer here. Alessio Romagnoli from Milan, Benjamin Henrichs from Leverkusen, Fabrizio Oya from Corinthians. He's a young attacking midfielder, also capable to play in the middle of the field. And Ted Smith from Southend. So who is Ted Smith? A 25-year-old goalkeeper, probably to replace Sergio Romero. On the outgoing section, Gary Medel, Joel Pereira, Jesse Lingard, Scott McTominay, Dean Henderson, Domenico Criscito and Axel Turanzeb have all been sold. Very interesting turn of events. Jose Mourinho has really bought and sold a lot of players in these 4 seasons. Now switching our attention to the cup competitions in England. First of all, the FA Cup. The first instance here was won by Manchester United in season 2017-18. Then Tottenham and Liverpool were successful in claiming that trophy, and in the last season Manchester United reclaimed the FA Cup. So 3 cups in 6 years and 2 cups in 4 years. Let's also have a look at the League Cup. What happened there? Just before I do that, we see here that Manchester United won on after extra time against Everton. If we just have a quick look here, Marcus Rashford, Julian Brandt managed to put United ahead 2-0. Then Everton equalized with in the second half with goals from Idrissa Gueye and Sandro. Anthony Martial scored the winning goal in extra time to bring the trophy to Old Trafford. Now, again, our attention will switch to the League Cup, where we see that Tottenham and Liverpool won the first 2 League Cups, then Manchester United were victorious in season 2019-20. Bournemouth won the last one. In the final, they won on penalties against Brighton. Moving to the European competitions, and first in line is the Europa League. In the first season, Real Sociedad, which is Álvaro Odriozola's ex-team, were victorious. They beat Barcelona in the final 2-1. This is very surprising to me. Real Sociedad probably made good use of the money, although they were not able to use them in the first season, but apparently the loss of Odriozola has spurred them to pursue success. They qualified for that final after defeating Porto in the semi-finals, Galatasaray in the quarters, and Sporting Clube de Portugal in the second knockout round. In the next season, Manchester City won the Europa League after beating Inter Milan in the final. City qualified for that game after defeating Bayern Munich in the semi-finals, Bayer Leverkusen in the quarterfinals, and the Italian Lazio in the second knockout round. Then in the third season, Liverpool were victorious after beating Olympique Lyon in the final. They also eliminated their city neighbors Everton in the semi-finals 4-3 on aggregate, Chelsea in the quarterfinals, and the German Hoffenheim in the second knockout round. In the very last season, Chelsea won the Europa League, so we have 3 English winners in a row. Chelsea were the last one after beating Valencia 2-0 in the final. Chelsea also eliminated Inter in the semis, Roma in the quarterfinals, and the German Bayer Leverkusen in the second knockout round. Moving to the Champions League, where the first season Real Madrid managed to record 3rd successive title here after defeating Juventus in extra time 2-0. Real Madrid qualified after beating Tottenham in the semi-finals, so this is very good performance from the London Spurs there, qualifying for the semi-final in the Champions League. Before that, Real Madrid also eliminated Manchester United in the quarterfinal and Red Bull Leipzig in the first knockout round. In the next year, Atletico Madrid were victorious in the most important European competition after beating French team Monaco in the final 2-0. Atletico also eliminated their compatriots Barcelona in the semi-final, Real Sociedad in the quarter-final, and the English Manchester United in the first knockout round. Then in the third season, Real Madrid claimed another title, which I think is their 13th now. In total, and they defeated Juventus again in the final, this time 2-1 again in extra time. So very similar circumstances. In this time Juventus managed to score at least one goal. Real Madrid also eliminated Manchester United in the semi-final 4-0, Porto in the quarter-final, and CSK Moscow in the first knockout round. Manchester United, on the other hand, managed to beat Bayern Munich and Sevilla on their way to the semi-final, which they lost to the eventual winners. And in the final season of this experiment, Manchester United were victorious in the Champions League after defeating Bayern Munich, one of their big rivals in Europe, 1-0 in the final. They also eliminated Juventus 3-2 in the semis, Atletico Madrid in the quarterfinals after penalties, and Real Madrid in the first knockout round. Let's have a quick look. Are we able to see this game here? Yes, we are. So Alexis Sanchez scored the winning goal in the 52nd minute for Manchester United to bring the trophy with the big ears to Old Trafford. Very good performance from the Red Devils here, and Jose Mourinho apparently brought a lot of success to the team. Now, before I finish this episode, I just want to quickly have a look at the Ballon d'Or winners and who were they in the last 3 years. So 2018 brought the award to Paulo Dybala from Juventus. Second place for Andres Iniesta and third place for Lionel Messi. Then in the next year, Messi reclaimed this award. Kylian Mbappé qualified for second place and Kevin De Bruyne was third. And in the final year, 2020, Antoine Griezmann won the Ballon d'Or, Paulo Dybala second place, and Cristiano Ronaldo at 35 years of age, he managed to get third place here in this award. You can see his stats, he's still a phenomenal player even though he's 36 years old now. With that, I think this is enough for this episode. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe for my channel if you haven't already. That way you're going to receive notifications for when I upload new videos. In the meantime, you can also check out my social media. Links will be provided in the description below. Let me know what you guys think about this experiment and what would you like to see next. I would love to hear from you in the comments. Once again, thank you for watching. Until the next time, bye!